I think there are some trends that have been happening over the past few years in the United States anyway. And I'm not sure, of course, how any of my advice applies to the rest of the world, so you guys can comment and let me know. Some trends that I think are here to stay. Some things that I have noticed over my time working as an organizer. I think that first of all, you have a huge part of our population who is getting older, i.e. the baby boomer generation, who is starting to, their parents are starting to move into retirement homes or pass away, so they're starting to have to deal with their parents' stuff. And then also baby boomers are starting to move into their retirement years, so they have, first of all, they have accumulated more of their own stuff. They have more money to spend. And also they are typically more used to the idea of outsourcing or paying somebody to come help them with a problem. So for that reason alone, and the fact that generally women who are getting older are going to have less energy and time and ability to kind of deal with their house on their own, I think that in itself is something that I have experienced in my business. There are women who want me to come help them simply because it's hard for them to physically deal with the stuff that they have. So that right there is already a business opportunity in itself. It's kind of like you almost have to just educate yourself in the concept of someone else paying you to come do something that you think, because you're good at it, you think they should be able to do this for themselves. Like, why would they pay me to do this? But a trend or a concept that I think that is not going to go away is the idea that when you do not have the time or energy, or you just don't want to do something, that it is so much easier to pay somebody to come and help you get the result that you want. And people are starting to get used to that in all areas of their lives. Like, for example, if I had more time to commit to it, I would pay a professional personal trainer to help me work out, because I do not want to ever think about what workout to do ever again. I'm not good at it. I'm not motivated on my own. And I know that I would get better results if I'm working with somebody. Hi, Keyshawn. I would know I would get better results working with somebody professional than I would, even if I could motivate myself. It's like, how long would that last? A week? So it's really the same concept, but you are the person, because you're good at being organized and you can see from point A, B, C, D, like, here's what we need to do next. And the mind shift that has to happen for you is you have to realize that other people are not like you, and they can't do it. They can't do it on their own. I think that it makes no sense to market your business to people who can't afford you. So I think you need to build in from day one branding and marketing yourself to people who do understand the value of what you do and can afford. They can afford the investment of you coming in to work with them. And another thing that I want to say is that another thing as a beginner, I think that I certainly thought this way when I was first starting out, is a lot of business advice will tell you, like, oh, you need to think of who your ideal client, your really specific ideal client is, and you need to market your entire business to them. Well, when I think of my specific ideal client as a professional organizer, I'm thinking, okay, she's somebody who's a lot like me, and she is really cool and easy to deal with, and she just really wants to get organized, and she really cares about, like, her personal development, and, like, she just feels like this would be a great next step for her. Like, that's my ideal client, but, like, that's not really the real reason why people typically are going to invest, or finally take the step of actually investing their money and having somebody else come help them. And the reason why is because I think that people don't really take action on something until it has become really painful or obnoxious or embarrassing for them. And I really want you guys to think about that, because something that has been very common in every client that I've had is that they have been going through, like, a very emotionally hard time. And it's not anything that's a judgment on them at all. I mean, how can you be expected to, magically be able to just deal with life when you're going through, the death of a family member, or you've been divorced? I mean, people, like, really truly can't be themselves and be their regular, organized, get everything done selves when they're going through a traumatic situation. So so that's another thing you have to think about. You have to think about your business is not for people who are like you. Like, there is for people who do not have the same skills that you do to cope with a hard or difficult situation. So I think that something that we should be thinking about is how to make our services something that is kind of the answer to a prayer for somebody. Like, it's not something that people like are necessarily investing in like in order to better themselves. They're investing in it because they are at that point where they're so overwhelmed and they don't necessarily have another option. And then they learn like, oh, a professional organizer is a thing. Like, that person will come to my house and like help me like put one foot in front of the other. Like, where can I sign up?